Hi, how are you? My name is Stephanie Harms Barton, and I am a stylist, and I am in Spring, Texas. I have a salon. I've had it since 2012. And jumping on here this evening to talk about sanitation. We're going into a new way of life for all the stylists. And I know that we have been very dedicated and trained in sanitation, but I feel like a lot of us feel unsure and uneasy about going into this or back into the salon and how we're going to approach it. So I've gone through and I've gathered some information for everybody. I also have links to all this information that I'd be happy to post, or Leanne can post in the link in the YouTube video, and so that you can have it for yourself. There's a lot of information that you can print off and use at your salon. So the best thing to do is just take a deep breath and let's go through all of this. So really quick, something that I had asked in another group that I'm in, I'm actually going to just pull this up so I know what I said. I had asked hairstylists how they feel about going back into the salon. And I had 400, almost 450 people say they are not ready to return back, that they feel like the exposure is too much, okay? I had 177 people say they needed to go back to work, but they didn't want to because they were scared for their health. I had 100 people say, you know what, I'm ready, let's go back, okay? I had some that said, 35 that said financially they were okay, they were just gonna wait. And then I had 19 people that said will not be returning. They're going to wait it out and see, you know, when they feel safe, when they feel comfortable, that's when they were going to go back. So after observing this and seeing and reading the comments, you know, I felt like it was important to talk to stylists and let them know, you know, we are all in this boat together. Now, there's going to be two sides for everyone. There's going to be stylists that are scared to go back. There's going to be our clients that are going to be scared to come back. They're going to be worrying about their own health, okay? Then there's going to be stylists who are like, I don't care, I'm going in, I'm doing it, and you're going to have a line out the door of clients, people you've never even seen, blowing up your phone, knocking on your door, right? So let's go over some things that we need to prepare for. One thing that I've heard a lot about from stylists is that they're worried about the financial worries, the burden of going back. How am I going to be able to supply masks and capes and all of the things that we need to do? I watched an interview yesterday with Florida. They had met with a bunch of cosmetologists and barbers. And one of their representatives, one of their mayors, I think, of one of their towns, was saying that they were trying to gather enough money and enough products to give to stylists. So that's a really great thing. So maybe that's something that as stylists we can step forward and ask our mayors, hey, could you help us out? You know, I know probably 80% of stylists have not received any unemployment. Most people have not received any SBA loans, PPP, you know, none of that. So I think there's just so many uncertainties and so scared, right? So let's dive into this. So one thing that I've thought about doing with my customers and stepping back into the salon is that you need to make sure that we're prepared. And not only just for the sanitation, but also for, are you gonna have enough product for your client? That's the first thing. So something that I'm going to do is that I'm going to have a video interview with each of my clients before, usually the day before or a couple days before, and have a video, you know, peek into there. Have they done their roots? Have they, you know, have they chopped on their bangs? You know, be prepared for them, talk to them. And that will give you the opportunity. A lot of states are asking you to ask the customer a health questionnaire. So, you know, having that one-on-one, like, hey, you know, I have to ask this, you know, they won't feel so threatened and feel so uncomfortable, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to the salon now. I feel like I'm going to the doctor having to fill out all this information, right? So you're creating that comfort zone for them. So when they come into the salon, they know exactly what they're prepared to walk into, and it's not frightening because people are going to feel very, very uncertain. That was the first thing I was going to do. And then there was something else I was going to talk about. Oh, the other thing is this is a good time too to ask your client, are you needing any products? Because we're going to have to clean everything in the salon. So if your clients are used to coming in and going, well, yeah, you know, I need some of this and I need some of this, and you're like, oh my gosh, quit touching stuff because I have to wipe all that down. If you ask them before in your pre conversation or video, whatever we're talking about here, you know, what products do we need? Are you good with the shampoo and conditioner? Do we need to get you, you know, hairspray, whatever? And then you can make them a personalized bag that's ready for them. They haven't had to touch anything. You haven't had to touch anything, and it's waiting for them. One other thing that I'm going to implement is when I'm getting close to getting ready to check out my client, or maybe while they're processing their color would actually be a great time, because you kind of have a general feeling of how much you're going to be charging them. I use Square Invoice. I'm going to just go and send them an invoice. That way they're not having to touch your phone or your iPad. You're not having to touch their card. So less contact with the client, but still creating, you know, that personalization. And you can talk to them about, you know, hey, maybe there's products on the shelf too. You can sell them as upselling too. So when we get back into, when we talk about sanitation, I went over today, and there is a website that I will post behind the chair, posted it, and it's state by state guide of what salons are open in each state and what they're required for. I'm in Texas. They have not put out what we're supposed to do yet. Our initial date is the 18th. We have a judge here that's moved to the 20th, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, but when I clicked through most of those states, almost every single one of them is requiring that the stylist wears a mask. There were 2 states that said only the stylist had to wear it. One of them was like, well, if it doesn't get in the way. But most all of them were saying that the client and the stylist had to wear the mask. Something you may want to, if you have a pre-interview with your client, say, make sure that you, did I bring a mask? Make sure that you're gonna wear a mask that goes around your ears, right? And that doesn't go too far back on your hairline, because if you're coloring, you're gonna get color all over their mask. And maybe even mention to them like, hey, if you can get a hold of the disposable one and you don't care that it gets color or that it gets wet, that's a great idea. The other thing that they said you could do is, you know, you could just tape it, you know, take the ears off and tape it. And then that way there's no taking it off and all of that. I'm seeing a lot of them are like, well, just have your client put a towel on their face. Remember, the more things that your client touches, the more things you have to wash. And when you put your towels in your container, now that container is contaminated. So when you take it back to the laundry and dump it out, you got to make sure that you're sanitizing your container. Okay. Now I'm kind of a germaphobe, so I'm washing my hands 1,000 times a day anyway. Something I watched about a guy today is if you are someone that drinks a lot of water, I always have my big Yeti, right, in the salon, and I'm drinking all day long. He says, you get dehydrated. You don't have the opportunity to drink because you got a mask on. And if you take the mask, and so it's all of that. So these are things that I think you need to think about or talk about with your client. So when we get into sanitation, if you have not taken the Barbicide certification, go do it. It's free, it's really, really quick, but it's gonna give you some great information. It does kill COVID. So I know a lot of us are like, well, I need to go find, you know, Lysol wipes and all of that. We have Barbicide at our disposal pretty easy. Every distributor has it. They have the spray and the wipes. So either one are good. You need to make sure that if you're using the spray, it has to sit on the surface 10 minutes. If you're using the wipes, it's 2 minutes. Obviously the wipes are a better deal, right? So something I kind of plan on doing is to take and have my trash can, and everything that I use with that client will go in that trash can, in that bag. I'm going to sanitize all of my surfaces, disinfect, make sure you do the door handles, your knobs or whatever. Another area to focus on when you clean, because I don't think we really think about it, is your footrest on your chair. Because they say that, you know, the droplets will fall. So if someone sneezes and they've used their shoes and they walked into your salon and they put them on your thing, that could transfer, right? So just wipe all that out. So then what I'm going to plan on doing is after each customer, I'm marking out 15 to 20 minutes in between clients. That'll give me the opportunity to wrap that trash up. I can go outside, take my mask off, get a drink, take a few moments to reconnect, and then go back in. I did read some stylists, are experiencing headaches from wearing the mask a lot and also inhaling all the disinfectants. So it will be nice if you can walk away and step out from the salon and get fresh air. Give yourself some time to mark out and do that. Make sure when you're stocking up for the salon, you're gonna have your gloves, your mask. Make sure to put a hand sanitizer on your station. I just bought hand sanitizer at Princess Beauty. That's a distributor here in Texas. They were $8 a piece. So that was a really good deal. Also make sure that you have extra laundry detergent, because that's one of those things I always go back to go do towels. I'm like, oh, I'm out of laundry detergent. Make sure you have that as well. I'm trying to think what else I had for you guys. Like I said before, each state is going to have their own requirements. So like I said, Behind the Chair does have that link, so that'll be good. A lot of salons are, not a lot of salons, a lot of states are going to require you to have signs, either when you walk in the door, and they have those to print off of there. Actually, it's on Brazilian Blowout. They have a new thing. And it also gives you all of the things. So you're going to print out your signs. A lot of states are not allowing more than one person in your room. I did read one state, I think it was, I wrote it down, Alaska of all places. They can have 2 people, but they have to be all 6 feet apart. So you could have 2 clients in Alaska. So if you're in Alaska, lucky you. But the rest of us are going to have one person. No one in the waiting room. You may, if you have any chairs that are not able to wipe down, you're probably going to have to wrap them in plastic, because it's going to have to be a washable surface. And then, after every client, you have to wipe everything down from top to bottom. Your color bar, your bowls. Some states I was seeing, they want you to cover the bowl in plastic. Like everything, it's just gonna be a giant plastic. Tons of saran wrap. The waste is gonna be unbelievable for our poor landfills here. Let me see what else. Now, the one thing that I am seeing in message boards across Facebook is that, we have a lot of people that don't want to wear a mask and some people that don't. I think we're going to face that issue when it comes to clients as well. So I think that whatever your state regulates, you need to make sure that you follow. Like I said, I'm a rule follower. And you never know when a client's sitting there and they watch you and maybe they don't feel uncomfortable, but they're not going to tell you. That doesn't mean they can't go and report you or someone else sees you. I'm also reading, I think it was in Georgia, inspectors are walking in. And we're not talking your state board, we're talking health inspectors walking in. So, make sure that you are giving the cleanest, most sanitary space for your customer so that they feel safe, because you don't want them to leave and go, gosh, I went to my salon, got my hair done, and my stylist, I felt uneasy. It was dirty. She didn't have a mask on, or she was touching or all the time. So make sure that you make your client feel very comfortable. We are not going to be able to give them that amazing experience, coming in and have a glass of water or champagne and here's a snack. We can't even offer magazines. So it's going to be kind of a sterile environment. So the one thing that we can offer them is security and knowing that they're in a safe space that you have worked very hard on being clean and sanitary. So I hope that this helps you. And like I said, I will post the links, or Leanne will, to all of the information that I have. And I wish everyone the best of luck on your way back to the salon. Take care.